After mashing 5 home runs in spring training, Gleyber Torres has gone on to hit just 6 over the next 5 months. In 2019, he had more than twice that many against just the Baltimore Orioles. Now, with the Orioles coming into town this weekend and Gleyber getting ready to come off the injured list, that presents an opportunity. My solution to get Gleyber Torres hitting again is to invite former Orioles broadcaster Gary Thorne into the booth this weekend to have him do the Yankee games.
Gary Thorne is saying,
way back left field. You gotta be kidding me. Goodbye, home run. Here, get out of here. Paul O'Neill's giving me a hard time. Go back to your own booth.
It's September in the Bronx. I guess it's September everywhere, come to think about it. But the Yankees have an outside chance at the division. It's exceedingly unlikely. They have a lot of questions to answer this September. I think it's more realistic that they focus on the wild card. Try and win as many games as you can this September, and then just kind of evaluate as you go into that final series against the Rays in New York. I'm sure there's a lot of guys on this team who are a little bit banged up. Guys over the course of 40 games, something like that so far. They get nicks and bruises. They get a little bit banged up. Make sure that you get everybody healthy going into the postseason. You may see the Yankees go to a 6-man rotation at some point this month to try and give some of the more tired arms a little bit of a rest. Jameson Taillon looks like he could definitely use a rest. You're definitely going to want to line up Garrett Cole to pitch the wild card game. The Yankees do have some injury questions. What, if anything, will you get from Luis Severino? He's just begun ramping back up, but with just a month left, does he have enough time to get back into the Yankees pitching staff and pitch out of the bullpen? Him coming back as a starter is pretty much unlikely at this point. Domingo Germán, he was another guy who wore down. He had some shoulder issues. He went on the injured list. He had a setback. He could be coming back also out of the bullpen. And with these guys potentially coming back as bullpen pieces, who does that potentially force out for a playoff series? So the Yankees have a lot of questions to answer. They also have to line up guys to be healthy and as red hot as possible going into the playoffs. You want as many guys mechanically sound and swinging the bat well. The playoffs isn't always about who's the best team. A lot of times it's about who's the hottest team. That comes directly from Derek Jeter. And the Yankees are getting one very valuable and very impactful piece back this weekend, and that's Gleyber Torres. Gleyber Torres has been one of the most perplexing Yankees in my mind. When he came up at age 21, just a year older than Anthony Volpe is now, back in 2018, he had an .820 OPS in 123 games. That was good for 24 home runs and 77 ribbies. He followed that up in 2019 with some juiced baseballs with an .871 OPS, 38 home runs, 90 RBIs, and a .278 batting average. He finished 17th in the MVP voting, and he had his second All-Star appearance that season. However, 2020, he was out of shape. Not a good year. .243 average, 3 home runs, just a .724 OPS, though he did play much better down the stretch. However, 2021 has been a supreme disappointment. In 99 games, he's batted just .253 with just 6 home runs and 42 RBIs. He does have 12 stolen bases, but he struck out 81 times and walked 41 times. That's a .328 on-base percentage. For me, a lot of it comes down to him swinging too hard and trying to make things happen. It's evident that he's worked very hard on becoming a better shortstop, and I think he has improved, but it still may be to the detriment of his offense. If he gets hot now, it changes everything. Perhaps these couple of weeks off were just kind of a blessing in disguise, just what he needed, a mental break. And coming back into the lineup against a team that doesn't have a ton of pitching might be just the elixir to remedy a bad season. It's worth noting that Aaron Boone has already gone on record to say that Andrew Velasquez, who has stepped up in Gleyber's absence, will remain on the roster. I don't know what role he's going to be in. Presumably he'll be a defensive replacement, an occasional guy to spell somebody for a day off, but he will continue to get some playing time. So congratulations to the Bronx Kid. On the mound for the Friday night opener against the Orioles, kicking off Labor Day weekend, is Nestor Cortes Jr., the mustachioed one. He is 2-2 with a 2.77 ERA. He's made 8 starts. He's appeared in 16 games, 61 2/3 innings, 64 strikeouts. I think he's going to absolutely carve up the Orioles. I don't play DraftKings very often, but I might take Nestor Cortes tonight. Even though August was not great for Nestor Cortes. In August, he made 5 starts. He pitched 29 innings. He had 25 strikeouts. He did allow 6 home runs, a 3.72 ERA, so notably higher than the rest of the season, 245 batting average against, and a 751 OPS against. He's still got a ton of moxie. He's still a deceptive pitcher. And I think against the Orioles, he's got a shot to have a really good game. I'm predicting something like 6 innings, 6 2/3 innings, maybe 1 run, maximum 2 runs. That's kind of what I expect from Nestor Cortes this evening. In his last start, he pitched against the Oakland A's, and he was solid. He went 5 1/3. He gave up 4 hits and 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. I think he'll take that pretty much every time against Nestor, but the Orioles are not as good as the Athletics, and so I expect Nestor Cortes to pitch much better this evening. It'll be interesting to see how everyone works out in the rotation this September. There's an outside chance that Nestor Cortes could have a prominent role out of the rotation rather than the bullpen come October. Of course, the Yankees would need to advance past the wild card game, which is not a given, but I could see him getting a start in like the 3rd or 4th game of a series. Should be fun. Nestor Cortes on the mound tonight to kick off Labor Day weekend. All right, let's check in on Anthony Volpe. He continues his assault on the minor leagues. He's batting .302 with 23 home runs, 77 RBIs, a 1.048 OPS, and a .432 on-base percentage. And when he gets on base, he tends to swipe some bags. He's got 29 stolen bases. He has elevated himself to the #1 prospect status in the Yankees organization. We'll check in on #2 in just a second. He's just 20 years old, but it's not out of the realm of possibility to imagine him working his way up to the major leagues next year. Derek Jeter made his debut at 21 years old. There's simply no reason to keep somebody in the minor leagues if they continue to dominate, and Anthony Volpe is dominating. We'll see if he can continue it at the next level. All right, let's check in on the Martian, Jasson Dominguez, who has been passed by Volpe as the #1 prospect. He is now #2 in the organization. He finished out August with his 4th home run of the season. His numbers are not otherworldly at this point. He's batting .242 with 4 home runs and 15 ribbies, a 701 OPS. But keep in mind, he's a switch hitter who's playing against guys who are a bit older than him. So not only does he have to work on a swing from both sides of the plate, he's competing against higher competition, and he's playing in a new country for the first time. So let's be patient with Mr. Dominguez. I still think he will break out sooner or later. All right, as we head into a long Labor Day weekend, here's a look at some of the things we've got coming up. Jordan Montgomery will get the start on Saturday, followed by Corey Kluber making his 2nd start off of the injured list on Sunday. And then we're looking at Monday for Jameson Taillon as he looks to get going. If it were up to me, I would call up Luis Gil to start on Monday and scoot Jameson Taillon back a little bit to give him some rest. The team leaders in WAR. This will be an interesting matchup going forward. Aaron Judge has passed Garrett Cole as the team leader in WAR by 0.1%, but we have a whole month left to see what happens. I think both of these guys could end up over 6, and they both have an outside shot at 7 if they have a big September. As for the homestand, we've got 3 coming up versus the Baltimore Orioles. And then we've got 4 against the Toronto Blue Jays, who have kind of fallen out of it right now. But don't be fooled. They've given the Yankees a tough time this season, so that should be a good matchup. Special shout out to the Patreon supporters and anyone else who has supported this channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it the old thumbs up and subscribe for more Yankees content year-round. If you really enjoyed it, check out the Frieze. It's the official podcast of this channel. Or pick up some swag from the Teespring store, link in the description. Thanks for watching.